say your name and where you're from, and ask your question. Go for it.
Hello, nice to meet you all. My question is for Jane. My first memory of seeing you on television in a movie was Live and Let Die. And I just wondered if you could speak a little about working with the late, great Roger Moore.
That was an unbelievable experience, thank you. I was 20 years old. I was about as green as they come. I'd barely even ever stayed in a hotel, let alone go to a restaurant. I did not know when I was letting myself in for. But I was unaware, really, of the whole kind of Bond girl thing. I'm sure I was only hired because there were very few virgins left in London in the 70s. And I actually loved working with Roger. He was very funny and very kind, and he always protected me, and I needed protecting. And I loved him for that. And actually, funnily enough, Geoffrey Holder was in that, playing Baron Samedi. And I really hated the actual acting bit. When they were rehearsing for the voodoo scenes, I used to go hang out with Geoffrey, who of course was a dancer. And silly bit of information, but when I come into that voodoo scene and I'm like, carried there on my back, that was because Geoffrey found out I was a dancer and I could do pas de deux, so I was safe to be lifted.
Thank you. Great question.
Hi, I'm Rachel from Texas. So that was actually my question. So I'll just state that you're my favorite Bond girl. I'll move on to another question about your filming with Dr. Quinn. So I grew up watching that, and I just wanted to know, did you ever do any of your own stunts, or did you have a stunt double?
I had a stunt double because they insure you very highly. They don't even want to scratch on your face, but I defied them all the time. There was one episode we did called The Race, in which I was actually really riding that horse far too fast. But I loved every minute of it, so I did a lot of my own riding. But the way you can tell whether it's a stunt double or me is I'm so terrified and excited and exhilarated by the idea I'm actually going to survive being on a horse that I smile, my teeth are showing. And then the stunt double comes on and she goes. So I had to tell my stunt double that if she was going to actually keep her job, she would have to show her teeth. So she goes like this, rather like the horse. I had a horse they called Flash, and Flash had been a circus horse. So, if you inadvertently did something like that, Flash would lie down and roll over, which wasn't part of the need. Or if someone came in with a big boom, Flash would think it was the whip and would, get crazy. So it's very important to have good stunt doubles, but I definitely did a lot of my own riding. And thank you for asking. I love that show.
Share with us
your experience with British choreographer Matthew Bourne and your experience in Swan Lake. I don't know if a lot of people know about what you did, and they've had a recent anniversary of that production.
So that was a question about what was it like to perform with choreographer Matthew Bourne and be in the production of Swan Lake, which was on Broadway. It was the longest running dance show on Broadway at the time, back in the 90s. I'm not as young as hopefully I look.
It looks like you would have done that show when you were about like
What was that? Say that again? Two. Oh yeah.
You were two.
Yeah,
he was the youngest Swan.
Exactly. No, that was a really wonderful time in my career because it brought me to America for the first time. Swan Lake, that production, like I said, took me to New York for the very first time. And you brought up a really good point that we just had the 30th year anniversary, so that was 30 years ago, so now you do make me feel very old. Thanks for that. But no, it was a wonderful time, and as we've spoken, so any opportunity I get to bring dance into something, a story, if it makes sense, or a character's way of being, then I always will, because it's a huge part of who I am. So thank you, Greta, for that question.
Absolutely. Lovely to see you all. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Hello to all of you. My name is Christine. I'm here in New Jersey. My question is, First of all, I'm grateful that you all showed up today and for the weekend. Jane, I saw you on the Today Show in the morning, which means you had to run from New York to New Jersey. My question is, did any of you ever read a script and say, oh, this is just all wrong for me, I can't do this, and then think of somebody that you know or can suggest, I think this person might be really perfect for this role?
And then you very much hope that person is unavailable so that you get to do it anyway.
I have definitely read scripts where I've thought I'm not the right person for the role. Most of those are ones that I'm looking at producing, and generally it's because I'm either not brave enough or I just don't think I could fully embody the character the way that the audience would deserve to see them. And often I do think of people that would be perfect for those roles. You don't always get to meet them, but yeah, I think I have.
That's wonderful. And just for you, Brittany, in the movie the other day, there were all the Bristows in the credits. Can you tell us who these people are? Are they all related to you? Thank you.
Absolutely. So I, as many people know, have a film family. So my dad, Leif Bristow, is an incredible producer and director. He was also an actor. He's an incredible singer. He studied opera and he did a lot of musical theater. He was in the Phantom of the Opera. He was in Les Mis. He's had an incredible career, and he transitioned into producing and directing. And my mother, who was a social worker, transitioned into writing a handful of years ago, and in her later years completely redefined her life and is now a screenwriter and producer. And I think almost everyone on this stage has worked with them. I know my dad has wanted to work with you, but he and my mom work together as an incredible team, and I've been really lucky to have an opportunity to stand on set with them a handful of times. When I was younger, it was always one of those things where I felt like I kind of had to really prove myself, and I was always scared that people would think I didn't deserve to be there. But as I've gotten older, I've realized what a gift it is to be able to walk through this crazy industry with my parents. My sister is the only one who's not in the film industry. She's a chemical physicist, so she's doing okay. She's a professor at a university here in the States.
Hi everyone. Jane, my question's for you. Me and my boyfriend watch Wedding Crashers regularly. When I saw that you were coming, I knew I had to get a photo with you, just based off that movie solely. I just wanted to know if you had any fun memories from filming that movie.
Oh, so many. Where do I start? Well, Vince Vaughn used to joke. We used to hang together, and he'd keep going up to Owen Wilson saying, "Are you ready to see more of Seymour?" And I went, Vince, that is like really not original, but okay. And Owen was definitely even more scared than me, which was really kind of uncanny because I was much more scared. But I have discovered that when I'm in character, my character is capable of doing things that the character will do and not necessarily Jane Seymour. So when he was reticent to actually put his hands on my breast, I said, Jane Seymour might have a problem with this, but currently I'm kitty cat, so, and I just asked you to, so I think it's okay. And so he put his hands like that, and then the director said, cut, and he came out and he said, Owen, excellent, really good, really good, really good, but could you like soften your hand a little bit? And he looked at me and I went, I'm kitty cat, okay. So then he came back and he went, and then the doctor came out, that was much better, Owen, but you know, could you move slightly? And he looked at me and I went, I'm kitty cat, Owen, it's okay, it's okay. So then he goes, and I am like I'm dying, because I'm actually thinking that the behind the scenes of the making of that scene was way funnier than the scene. And then when we did it the last time, and it was just before we did the last take, he turned to me and said, when I leave, just say pervert. And It was not scripted. I didn't know if I was allowed to, but Owen told me it was his fault. So as he left, I said, perfect. Of course, that made that scene. So I had an amazing time on Wedding Crashers. And at the time, I first read the script and I thought, oh my God, this is the funniest thing I've ever read. And this scene is the scene, but I can't do it. I just finished Dr. Quinn, and the Dr. Quinn fans will die. And then I read it a second time, and my then husband said, you can't do that. Because Dr. Quinn, and I read the second time, it was funnier. The third time I looked at him and I thought, why is he telling me what I should and shouldn't do? And then I thought, the packaging very clearly has the letter R on it, so if anyone from Dr. Quinn who had only ever seen Disney movies did not want to watch it, they had already been warned. And actually, I am, spoiler alert, never naked in the movie at any time. There is not one, because I was actually covered. I mean, I know I've ruined it for lots of people, but, but I wasn't. So for me, I was very excited to do it. And of course, quintessential comedy.
Epic movie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, no one asked it, so I'm going to ask it. Marcus, can you give us a little tease for season 4 of Sullivan's Crossing? Thank you.
Yeah. I really fuck shit up there. But I think we did it in a very interesting way. I think it's a complicated character. I think it's a complicated situation. And go ask Chad for more spoilers, because I'm afraid to say anything.
We will. Thank you guys. This has been incredible. Jane, you're amazing. And thank you to this incredible audience, as well as our amazing interpreters.
All right, let's hear it for our panel. All right, guys, before we leave, we're going to do two things. If I can get you down to the front of the stage, we're going to take one picture facing out. All right. And now if you guys would turn around, we'll get one with everybody in the background. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys so much. Let's do it again for our incredible panel. All right, you guys know the drill. If you are VIP or ADA, feel free to stay in the panels area. If you are general admission, please head out the back of the panels area. If you'd like to come in to make Minute to Win It, which is the next event, feel free to queue back up, and we'll see you shortly.
Okay.